Welcome back to the vlog, everyone. Morning, everyone. Welcome back to the vlog. Been away for a couple of days. Morning, everyone. Welcome back to the vlog. Been away for a couple of days. The weather's been a bit average, so I haven't been able to get out as I'd like. Slack excuse, I know, but stick with me. We'll try and get there. Just before I drop the video about the keys to the city, I just wanted to give you all a bit of an origin story. So it's not all about, you know, when I get to Australia. It seemed as like it wouldn't have mattered where I went. You know, it was just going to happen the way it happened, because even before Australia, we were already fiending and scheming as children here. Quick link to Dave TFS Podcast. He's got a bit of a podcast or vlog on our particular hood. So if I can get it in the link, check it out, whānau. So that's where we come from in general. One of the houses he shows in that particular house, my cousin grew up in and was born in, and I was born in the same house. Just a quick lowdown of where we're from. If you're interested, check it out. But coming back to our particular fiending, so we were already fiends because we had this place called Cracker Jacks. Hey, Mrs. Koo, Auntie Koo, you know, with your bags of 20-cent coins in that, selling to all us kids. Yeah, or not selling, you know, trading us for our notes and our lower decimal coins for those 20-cent pieces that get us our Street Fighter and Gallagher and all those games and the pool table and the jukebox. But anyway, that's what we fiend about, whānau. So just touching on that. So consider us fiends. We're already laying at night in bed, you know, fiending, thinking, how are we going to get some money to play Street Fighter and you know, do all the rest of it. Some burgers and drinks, or fish and chips, you know, chips more. But yeah, this was us. This is where we did it. We called this park Schemedom, you know, because we come here to scheme. There was lots of schemes for us in here, and this is just the first one. I'll start here because back in the 80s, we made the Whited Up on Times Age newspaper for BMX Bandits. Me and my cousins, you know who you are. Yeah, we stole some money out of this place. So I'll give you all the lowdown on how that went. I won't say which cousin's idea it was, but it was the oldest cousin. So back in still the same. A quick thing, whānau, this train's still $1 to the day. It's always been $1 to do 3 laps on our miniature train. Usually through summer it opens, all through the holidays. Usually on the weekends if it's a nice day, but not on the you know, winters and all that, because it's too cold and all that, and it's, you know, too rough. But anyway, $1. So you could imagine we got a little cash tin that sits out of reach. So even for an adult, if you're coming through the little, you know, so imagine a little, you know, a grill and a little latch there, or a little gap. So you can get your ticket, throw your coins in, your notes, whatever. And so if you reach through, you couldn't even reach in the little cash tin would be sitting about here. And one clever cousin come up with an idea to bring a, you know, bit of a long plier type tool, so you could add a little bit of extra length in, and well, it wouldn't even matter. You could just use a stick and swipe it in, I guess. But on this particular occasion, the young fella brought a bit of a pliers, leans the pliers in, pulls the bloody cash tin over to where we could all reach, and next minute all these hands started piling in, just going for all the money. All these hands, everyone's trying to get all they could, and bang, we took off. And as we took off, there was one auntie there, and the auntie gave one description. She goes, "The boy I seen had blue eyes." No way in the world I'll be able to work that out. But anyway, whānau, that's just one of the you know, one quick yarn how we became the BMX Bandits. There's probably one auntie with that write-up. I'd love to see it if someone's got it. But we'll move over to another story. I'll take you through a bit of a walk. So, all right, let's check it out. All right, so over yonder here, that's how we get out of here. So that's our bridge to get out of here. So we'll go for a bit of a walk, and I'll give you a bit of a rundown. So no cootie today, whānau. I didn't want to bring them because it's the wrong morning for me. I'm usually, you know, this is the late morning. You know, even though, you know, mahi's, you know, morning hours, this is the wrong morning. I'm getting home at this time. I'm usually going shopping. But yeah, this is the bridge. This is where it all happened, all the action. So over the back here, we've got the skate park. you've got our main, children's park that's completely different from when we were young. We've got the grandstand, the old aquarium. It's a mean as bakery now, and then the boats over the back. So I'll just turn the video off now for whānau. And I'll get back to it when I get back closer. Don't want to bore you with the rubbish. Welcome back, whānau. So we're at the local bars. So if you imagine, this is our, back in the late 80s, whatever, and we've got a bike stand here. And normally when children come to the bars, they come here to swim. But I was that one kid that used to jump back over the fence into the bike stand, and I'd start picking everybody's locks. And I wouldn't steal them or anything. Well, sometimes I would, I'll be honest, because I used to steal people's bike locks to make nunchucks. So any of the aunties that back in the 80s and that used to wonder where their broomsticks and their mop sticks were disappearing. Yeah, my bad, aunties, that was me making nunchucks. But anyway, so everybody's jumping the fence. Oh, not everybody. I'm jumping the fence to get out so I can practice picking locks. And then I'll just jump back in, and then if somebody else turned up with another lock that was new, I'll jump back over and that's pretty much what I'll do. And it got to the stage where I'd eventually be able to memorise all the cousins' bike locks and stuff, because they'd been there so many times, I'd picked them so many times, and oh hell, what a mean life. But we'll go for a quick walk. So come with me over here. Right, we're going to walk down here because there's a bit of a yarn down here, whānau. So across the road here we had an old cafe, an old what's it called? Not a cafe, bloody hell, the old art centre. So the old art centre was down here, and in the old art centre there was a bit of a donation, couple of donation boxes, and in these donation boxes there was the bro Josh. Yeah, I'm not going to take credit for this one. That was the bro Josh's idea. The bro Josh was one of my best friends growing up. He's still in town. He's a good man. But just coming over to this art centre. So in the back there was this, just imagine an art display, and there was a big glass wall, 2 glass walls, and in between the glass wall there was a little plaster, plaster wall with like a letterbox mouth in it. And that letterbox mouth had a little donation box behind it. And what the bro done is he just ripped that letterhead out of the plaster gently, but you couldn't tell it had been ripped out, and you could just come up to it and pull it out and pull the money out. And we've done that for the whole bloody, the whole summer holidays that year. And before the bro worked that one out, I used to jump the wall because, like I said, there was, panes of glass and partitions and whatever, and I just jumped the wall and siphon the money out from the back like that. But when the bro come up with that idea, oh, we were, easy money now. There's another yarn too back in town. So we'll start from the TAB. I had these 2 parking meters. If you can imagine the parking meters, and you put the coins in and you twist them, and then next minute you get a few minutes on the old parking meter, and the meter would fill up with the 10-cent coins or whatever, they 5-cent coins, whatever, 1 cent. I think you could put anything in them back in those days. I'm sure it was just 10s and 5s. But anyway, yeah, had a few of them, 2 of them that were unlockable, so you could just put your thumb on them and turn, and the lock would unlock, and then you could just open the flap and take all the money out. And then there was another 2 more in town that you could do the same thing. But then when they started catching on and they fixed them up, then clever guy just, clever guy went and got a bloody screwdriver and started just popping them using leverage, the old Jimmy technique. So I already knew the Jimmy technique as a young child, just, learning about leverage, knowing what leverage does. It's just a math thing. But we're here at the local grandstand. Another one, whānau. It's one of those things, it's just like, I grew up, like I said in the mention to the TFS, it's not that we grew up rough, it's just where we grew up was not where everyone else grew up. And like everyone says it's rough, this and that, but for us it wasn't rough, it was mean. We had a lot of freedom, and then I'll be honest, we're so lucky in this rohe. To all my uncles, all my aunties that supported all my dad and all those men, and we know what men we're talking about, the men that made this place what it is today. Because if it wasn't for them doing all that work, it wouldn't be the way it is now. And you all know what I'm talking about. You know, I can just reference to the bro Dave again, all his hood diaries. That's all I need to say. We don't have issues like that here. And if anyone comes here and mucks around, you're going to be in trouble. And not because of no gangs. But anyway, get back to it. So right here, there used to be a little door. And this door went under the grandstand. It was like a, you know, I don't know, like when you go into your house. Yeah, well, you know what's behind here is the club rooms. And us boys, we were playing in here for months this particular summer holidays. And then lo and behold, one day, someone decided to kick a hole in the wall at the back. And then right behind that wall was a whole heap of crates of beer. And then because we just lived down the road, down Elizabeth Street at that time, I went home and I'm like, oh, Dad, check it out, Dad. There's a hole in the grandstand and there's heaps of beers down there. And then, you know, I'm like, yeah, they're just sitting there. And he's like, oh yeah. And then next minute, the old man, he's coming back from a bit of a trip down the park on the bike with some crates on the old bike. Next minute, mean party with all the bros. Hey, if yous are all there, any of the onks, they were there drinking that piss, and yous know about that one? Yeah, yous know. Hey, you bloody know, you dastardly fellas, and wonder where we all get it from. But nah, it's all, you know. We're gonna do better now though, eh? Hey, whānau. Wouldn't believe it, played cricket on this ground. Hey, long day out there. Bloody 50 over game, I think it was that day, and in a hot, stinking hot day. Bloody hell. But good for the tinana, eh? Oh, te whare tapa whānau. Got to look after all of it. Got to be mindful. You got to be bloody, you know, mentally strong. And you've got to have your tinana in place. And then everything else will fall into place, you sort of hope, eh? You've got to just keep maintaining, moving forward. Made a lot of bloody messes in my life. I've got a lot to make up for. And hopefully through this kaupapa, we can make amends of a few things. We'll talk about this in a later date, whānau. This is one of my deeper things I'm going to have to talk about and try and make good on. But we'll get there. All right, coming to the next scheme. Heaps of schemes in here. So over the back we used to have a bird aviary. And there were some donation boxes in. But I'll be honest, those donation boxes were bloody hard. Those ones were like the RoboCop ones. Hard as. Again, I'm not going to take the credit for this one again. That was I'm not going to say which cuzzy come up with this idea. Yeah, I am. Cuzzy Sean come up with this one. Right, so in here we've got the meanest bakery. Okay, anybody wants a donut or a coffee, come here and check it out. This is in the old aquarium in Queen Elizabeth Park, Masterton. But in here we used to have an aquarium, best aquarium ever. It was a free aquarium that you could donate if you wanted. And just to the right, as you went in the first the hallway, there was a little box, and it had a pole that went over and down to a padlock. Well, we used to just put like sticks with blue tack in it and just lift the money back out of the donation box. Well, like I said, one of the clever cousins, he came down with the screwdriver or the hammer or something, and he was giving it a whack and giving it a tink and giving it a bit of a jimmy, and then the bit that goes to the padlock, it snapped, the weld snapped. So now it still looked like it was locked again. It looked like it was locked, and you could lift it open and it close it back down, and it would look like it's locked, but it wasn't. And anyone that put donation money in there, boom, oh, there you go. Fienders again, coming up with the schemes. Guess what? Hey, living the dream. Got the addiction fed. Hey, go home, start fiending again about that Street Fighter, all those Haryukens and all those Hadoukens and all that carry on. Hey, if anyone knows, yeah, yous bloody know. Sitting there with your bloody 20-cent coins on the window saying I'm next. Talk about those stories too. Like I said, whānau, I grew up in Footscray as well. So I moved from here, I go to Footscray. I go to Ardea, like I said first, then Footscray. But then, anyone knows AB Billiards and that? Oh wow, wicked. Mean heroin suburb. The Vietnamese though, they're the best people, man. Good people, those people. All my bros from back in the days, you know who you all are. Gangsters. Yeah, we'll talk about them later, but I'm gonna have to use a bit of code for those brothers because they're real bloody far. But yeah, we'll get into that too. Hey, if you know, yeah, all my bros that know, they were there. They know who we're talking about. And these guys we're talking about, jeez, wow. But you got to be there. We're going to talk about it all. I went through the boys' homes. I go through to Pentridge. I do jail with the likes of Richard Milanovic. I even celled up with him. If anyone knows D Division, down the back, old Rocky, he was in the video cell. So you know, you normally got cells on the left and right. Well, down the very end of D Division on the bottom landing, so you come into D Division, you got the bell, and you go straight through the free yard. You go left, and left goes down to like the medical, and you turn left and left, and you're in the medical yard waiting for your pills. Or you can go right where you eat. And down the end of the food line hall was Rocky's cell. Anyone knows that they've done a yard, you know, done a bit of yard time in the old Metropolitan Remand, the OG one. We're talking, you know, because people might not know that Metropolitan Remand, which was D Division, was not part of Pentridge. It was the MRC, the Metropolitan Remand Centre. And when that all sort of switched around, we went to the Melbourne Remand Centre, and then the Melbourne Remand Centre goes to the MAP, and then when the MAP goes to the MAP, Port Phillip opens. We were some of the first in there, first in a lot of these places. Go to Loddon, go to Beechworth, go to Barwon, and then we head up around, you know, we go around to WA and all that carry on. But we'll get into that. So here, I'm just going to have to put this video down for a sec for you, whānau, so I can show you what I'm on about here. Going to need to give you a bit of a lowdown. All right. So this was another scheme. So normally during the holidays, old mate will have his boats here, and everyone hires the boats out, and they go for a bit of a lap around, and it costs $5. And so normally we'd come here, we'd try and scrounge up $5. One of the cousins would jump on, and then they'll go get a free ride around, and the plan was to get them to just stay at the back, so that old mate here, he'd ride around his bike and go looking for you. And then while he'd leave this unattended, the third cousin, and this would rotate, we'd have turns, or even if one of the cousins was up here alone, he'd try and catch this fella out, he'd trying to catch him riding on his own, and he'd think, oh, sneaking here on my own, someone else has done all the hard work. And then right behind here, you got some noggins, got some noggins and some studs. I'm not sure if there's some plaster back in these days. He used to sit his coins on there, and notes and whatever, like his float to, you know, give people change, and you'd have all that going on. Well, you know, sorry about it again, but us boys, you know, we got addictions to feed now, so, you know, taking advantage of any opportunity around here, that's how we do. But yeah, that's how it was around here, whānau. It was like that. Actually, I walked past another one. So if you want to have a quick yarn about this place over here, there used to be like a tennis court. That's what it was tennis. And there was a little club room just over there, and yep, I got in there one time and went through some lady's handbag and stole a bloody $100 and something out of her handbag. Yeah, sorry about it again. All right, so if you've seen some of my shorts and that, if you fellas are, you know, on my Facebook and all that, or wherever else, walking straight through there. So if you walk through, this is our park, so we walk straight through that park into our block, come straight through here, straight through there down to the bars, and then from the bars we're in town now, and that's where, you know, that's where it all starts. So it starts from the block, Masterton block. Anyone knows the block, Cameron Crescent, Masterton. Walk through here, straight through into town. It's probably the shortest walk this way because it just feels easy. But that was that's a quick rundown on you know, my origins. So that's pretty much what this is about today, whānau. It's about my origins. This is where I'm from. I'm very grateful to be from here. My uncles and aunties and all the mahi they've done and do around here, we're all grateful, all us cousins and us rangatahi coming after. We're very blessed to have what we have here. And just touching on tonight's video, I'm going to drop another video tonight as well. I'm going to get back out this morning, and I'll give you the keys. So I'm going to I'll turn this bloody camera around, so we'll talk about the keys, whānau. All right, one sec, let me just set up. We'll try and do this all freestyle, no bloody mean editing skills, Actually, I'll come and sit down on this seat over here, How about that? All right, we're just going to touch on the short. So the short, talking about the short, keys to the city. So I moved to Melbourne at 14, And then not long after that, you know, I meet one fella, old Dan Smith. This guy's another Daniel, but Daniel Smith. And he taught me how to take a transmission dipstick from a Falcon, throw it in the ignition, and give it a jiggle, and give the bloody steering wheel a jiggle at the same time. And yeah, that gave me the keys. That was one set of keys actually. And yeah. If you all know about, you know, barreling MX6s and TX5s and TX3s and 626s and all that, you know, or plugging VNs and disabling the horn first, because you know you got to snap the steering lock and stuff. Whatever, if yous were there, yous know. All you fellas back in the early 90s that were in Tirana and MJJC with me, and later on Pentridge and all the rest, yous know, yous are all there. It was that time. Actually, it's crazy, and now these kids are TikToking it. Never seen anything like it. But anyway, keys to the city. That's one set of keys. You know, you saw my example on you know, how to crack those tanks with the jimmy and wedge, the old jimmy and wedge on the door technique. That's another set of keys. But in that short, we got some boxes on the ground. If you just want to know what those keys open up, the keys in there open up, you're going to have to stick around for tonight's video or this morning's video. Yeah, so that's just to quickly touch on some of those things, whānau. Again, all the people that like, share, subscribe, all those supporters, everybody that's doing the hard work for me, I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this content, and like I said, like, subscribe, share, get involved, whānau, mauri ora.